We're here with head coach Terry Horan as he prepares for the second game of the season, Buena Vista down in Storm Lake, Iowa on Saturday at 1. First game, big win against Dickinson State, 37-13. You guys fell behind 13-0. Then you rallied 37 unanswered points. What did you learn from that game?
Well, you know what? I was proud of our young men. We weren't sulking. We weren't hanging our heads, and at no time, just the feel from the sidelines were we panicking at all. And that's something that we talked even the day before of a list of things that we go over prior to a game, and one of them is don't panic. You fall behind early, don't panic. Just hang in there. Our kids hung in there. Now that wind was pretty tough. It's probably as tough a wind as we've had since our playoff game with Wartburg back in 2004. And in fact, if we would have won the toss, we were going to kick with the wind as well, just like Hank Bijou did, and put us in a corner. We went 3 and out and gave them a short field, and before you know it, they're up 13-0. But once we got that wind at our back, we got the big run for our toss counter with Tommy Knowlton leading and Trent Johnson going 60, 70 yards, whatever he went, and going to the house. It kind of really sparked us, and from that point on, our kids played football, and it was great to see for our home opener.
Talk a little bit about the defense. They give up 13 points out of the first 3-4 possessions, but then they settled down and they didn't allow a point in the second half. What was the difference between the two?
I think you could really tell it was our first game right away. There were a lot of nervousness and anxiety and the jitters and all that, the butterflies that you get always in playing your first game. And I think once we settled down, you're right, once we settled down and we had some momentum in our corner, those guys just came out and flat out played, and their athleticism took care of itself. It was great to see us execute the way we were doing it.
Any players stand out from that first game that people might not recognize because they don't see them in the box score? Any unsung heroes from that first game?
Well, I love the entire effort, I guess, defensively. One that did get some recognition, obviously, was Robin Weisner. A big defensive lineman that in that very same game a year ago, he blows his knee out. So for him to have the type of performance that he had, it says a lot. Matt McAdick, another one that I can say, he had a solid performance at linebacker, but where he really kind of stood out in my book too was on special teams. Here's a starter that we have on probably every special teams, and he ended up winning our Pat Tillman Award, and just he was always around the ball, and he was always around where there was a play being made, and that was good to see. Now offensively, boy, our player of the game was Mike Dunham, but we had a long conversation with our offensive staff. We had 5-6 guys that we were thinking had great performances. Brett Bonney, Luke Goda. You start talking our receivers, and Mike Starkey had some big-time catches, and I can go on down the line, and so it was good to see those type of performances. Trent, you could even talk about Trent and the likes of getting the game ball too. So we had quite a few guys, and even Tommy Knowlton, who ends up getting our Lunch Pail Blue Collar Award, goes out to the guy who probably doesn't get all that recognition, but he had a whale of a game up front for us, and we need that again and then some.
One of the oldest cliches in football is the biggest change is between that first week and that second week game. What are you looking for as far as improvement to this second week?
Well, we want to obviously continue to improve. There is a lot of areas that we still can get better at, and I felt, we've had a really good week of practice. Tuesday was a little tough, but yesterday we had a solid practice day. Looking forward to our final prep even today, and it's a big challenge going on the road against a regional foe. This is a West Region contest, and it's pretty big for both conferences. So it's going to be a great test for us as we lead into our conference season next week. But I want to see our kids improve. I want to see us go on the road and play with the sharpness that we need to perform at a high level within our league.
You talked about Buena Vista. It's going to be the first time that two teams have ever met. They lost the first week 38-3 against the Platteville team in Wisconsin, but Buena Vista is part of that Iowa conference, which has always been solid. What do they do well? What are you guys going to have to key against Buena Vista in order to be successful?
Well, first of all, they're very well coached. Jay Anderson does a great job with that crew. The Iowa League, I compare a lot to our league. It's well balanced, top to bottom, solid football programs. We've had experience with Co-College and Wartburg and Central over the years, but this is the first time with Buena Vista. Now, Buena Vista is not new to playing our league. They've played Bethel over the years, and in fact, they probably have the win advantage on Bethel, and even in some of those great Bethel teams. I know they play very well at home. They've got a brand new turf field. We're the first game on it. It's the Hall of Fame game for them down there. It's going to be a lot of hoopla and excitement, and they're a very physical, aggressive defense. I can see that just by the first few plays of watching them against Platteville. They're physical, they're aggressive, they have a couple different fronts they like to use, and offensively, you know, they want to throw the football and mix in that run, and they've got some good skilled kids there too. So we just, you know, we got to play our game, and we got to do what we're capable of doing at the very best, and when you're on the road, it's never easy, and I'm looking to our seniors to lead us, and hopefully good things happen to the Cobbers on Saturday.